I'm Dave Hodges. This is the Common Sense Show. We are the show freeing America, one enslaved mind at a time. Thank you so much for joining us. Really good to be with you. And in this particular edition, we're going to look at the merits of Brian Harpole's lawsuit using quasi DOJ government interference, inappropriate conflict of interest resources of the DOJ through the Dillon Group. Oh, I know Harmeet Dillon has recused herself. Like it's just a coincidence that this group ends up. And then, of course, we've got Ben Shapiro's brother-in-law is the lead prosecutor. Wow. Wow. Okay. So the defamation says that Harpo, no, let me hold on to that. I don't want to break up my line of thinking here. We're brought to you by 7702. What's that? Well, if you're sitting on any money, it doesn't have to be an awful lot. You can create an income stream. You can provide for yourself for end of life care. You can accumulate massive income stream that's literally tax free. And it's something the rich do. Now, they can't advertise how they do it. I have to send you to them so they can tell you how they do it. And I'm telling you, there's people that are now able to make themselves lots of money from this. In fact, I was at the Iron Hawk financial event yesterday at the Maricopa County Home and Flower Show. Huge event, thousands of people there. And two of the people that were there are in my audience and good people. And here's the big and they're now agents. That's how much they believe in this. So let's take that acorn, turn it into a giant oak tree, and help you realize your dreams and take advantage of what the rich have been doing for decades that you now have access to. All you got to do is go to dhawk.com, dhawk.com, leave your contact information, and they'll tell you right away, can we help you? We can't help you, but you might want to try this. Or, yeah, this would be really good for you. Now, the process takes about 60 days because they're methodical. They dot every I, cross every T. They're in business to protect you and increase your income standing, increase your insurance portfolio, increase your end of life care. And they've never had a Better Business Bureau complaint ever, never lost a dime. You could be sitting pretty. dhawk.com is where you want to go. And you really need to do this before all hell breaks loose. And did I mention they're recession proof? Yeah, they are. Okay, Brian Harpo. Um, pull up this map here. This is one of his security team's offices. We've never been to Fort Huachuca, Chachachua, as Andrew Colvett tried to say. And Erica has never been there. We never heard of that fort. There's a fort here in Arizona? No. Well, here you got Harpo's security firm is a hop, skip, and a long jump to the Fort Huachuca gate. And of course, there were witnesses, three of them, by Candace bringing them out. Mitch Snow bravely came out and went public, and they were there 1 and 2 days before the event. Yeah, and look at that. Do you think that's a coincidence? Do you really believe him, Harpo? Okay. Now, that being what it is, this is just shocking here. Let me put this on screen for those of you that can see this. This is just off the charts crazy. Okay. So I'm showing a map here. Here we go. Never heard of Fort Huachuca? No, oh, no. This will be the thumbnail if you see this in social media. This is crazy, folks. Crazy. Um, the lawsuit alleges that Candace's comments has caused Brian Harpo to lose business and suffer professional damage. Well, what grade would you give his security team on September 10th of 2025? I think an F minus. He had one job, and his one job was to protect Charlie. He failed, and he lied about it. Goes on Sean Ryan's show. Couldn't put drones in the sky. They wouldn't allow drones. Oh, no, 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 no. Well, Sean asked him, doesn't the Orem Police Department nearby, they have drones? Yeah. Well, how come they can fly? Didn't have an answer. And yet, Frank Turek, who was part of this mess on that day, he says in an interview, yeah, we drove in. I saw the drones in the sky overhead. Really? But you couldn't put TPUSA drones up there. Do you expect us to believe this? No. Okay, well, let's see. You're protecting someone who's in the middle of buildings. Okay. Did it ever occur to you, Brian, to check the rooftops? And you're saying Candace did damage to your professional reputation? You did you have someone guarding the stairwell? Did you have someone high up looking at all the rooftops? Did you? No. We administered first aid to Charlie. No, you didn't. That's a lie. I'm not even going to bother to play the tape because everybody's seen it. Charlie goes down and what does Farnsworth do? Let's disassemble the cameras. Ah, there was no first aid ever. I don't know what you did with him in the car. A little late then, and then you refused the EMT, so there was no EMT help. Well, we got it on tape. There was. You lied again. And that kid did it alone. Really? Well, how do you explain to George then? As soon as Charlie goes down, he jumps up, drops his drawers, nice sight, throws his hands up in the air. I did it, I did it. And then admits to the nurse he's getting paid for doing that and provide the distraction. How do you explain that? Hmm? You wrecked your own professional reputation. Even if Candace never said a word or anybody said a word about you or your integrity solution, you wrecked your own firm. I mean, the phrase, with friends like that, who needs enemies? You had one job to keep Charlie alive, and you failed. And you want to sue Candace for pointing out your failures. And by the way, she contacted you. She wanted you to defend yourself. How did this happen? What about all these stories? No, 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 no. I'm looking here at my notes here. This is crazy. Um, I just look and say, how far do we go with this? Well, you made a real fundamental mistake, two of them. You sued Candace. Now here comes discovery. And now all your lies are resurfacing, and the public is a little more in tune now. They are. Okay. And was it not true that your firm was let go by TPUSA previously, and your first time back was at this event? Is it not true that Charlie's next scheduled stop a few days later was in Woodland Park, Colorado, yet you had no security agreement on file? Is it not true that the first paragraph of the UVA TPUSA agreement for security eliminated the first paragraph that talked about how many, who, how's the protection going to go down, and that's missing from that document? Is that not true, Brian Harpole? And you think that Candace caused you loss of reputation? I don't think anyone should hire you to be monitoring a Cub Scout meeting. You embarrassed yourself, your lack of diligence, or whatever nefarious things people think you did, if they're true or not true, you failed, and your incompetence, negligence, or possible alleged complicity deprived us of a great American. And I take that personally. And then to cover up the criticism when she tried to give you a voice, you sue Candace Owens. Who's your PR firm? How does Andrew Colvett keep his job as directing public relations after all this nonsense? I shake my head. Answer this question for me too, Brian. Why did you go to the hospital that was farthest away with people that showed up on Tel Aviv IP address searches back in July? Like Dr. Trotter. I'm not saying he did anything wrong, but he's in a search exposed by Ryan Mata and Deidre Amari, the state medical examination officer, and then the hospital itself. Don't you find that a little coincidental, Brian? If you're not involved in some kind of nefarious action here, shouldn't you be asking the same questions that we're all asking? I'm so glad you sued. I may even have to buy a ticket and come to the trial. I'm Dave Hodges. This is the Common Sense Show, something that TPUSA lacks.